So here's a sentence I never thought would come out of my mouth. They are canceling that man Dr. Seuss, the same man who brought you titles like The Cat in the Hat, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Green Eggs and Ham, Oh the Places You Will Go, and tons of other children's book classics, is now being canceled by all the wonderful snowflakes out there who just have to feel oppressed by any and everything. You see guys, sometimes when we take a look into the past, things get a little bit racially insensitive, as people today like to say. And apparently it took this long for people to realize this about 6 of his books in particular. And to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street, If I Ran the Zoo, McElligot's Pool, On Beyond Zebra, Scrambled Eggs Super, and The Cat's Quizzer. And before this story came out and made national headlines, I had never heard of any of these books. So I had to scour the internet to see what was so bad about these titles. And for the most part, all I could find was some very stereotypical images that featured Black, Asian, and Middle Eastern people. The Asian kid had some chopsticks, the Black people had big overdrawn lips, and the Middle Eastern people were riding on camels. And look guys, I get it. Are those all racial stereotypes? Of course, but these types of ideas are still very present in our society today. Almost every movie, TV show, podcast, whatever it is, has some sort of racial component to it in my opinion. I mean, even in my videos, I use a ton of racial innuendos and jokes, and no one gets mad besides the whiny little bitches. And that's because I mean no harm in my intent when I'm telling these jokes, and I would hope that some people can look themselves in the mirror and laugh every now and then. Are people gonna start getting mad at me because I sign off as the tan Superman? Also, keep in mind that this motherfucker was born in 1902, over 120 fucking years ago, and you expect him to be 100% politically correct by current day standards for his entire life? Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. And I can understand if you don't want these images being published to children or whatever, but now you want to cancel the man altogether, deeming him as some sort of absolute racist? The guy is dead, people. He's probably laughing up there in heaven like,
"Oh, if only you idiots knew what I meant by red fish, blue fish."
I don't know, I just think that people are getting a little bit ridiculous when it comes to caring about this shit at all. There's way bigger fish to fry than a dead guy who wrote children's books back in the 50s. And people walk around acting like they've never had a racist thought in their entire life. And I think that's absolutely ridiculous. And to be completely honest with you guys, I feel like most of the time I'm actually racist against my own race. Just looking at them like, what are those fucking Mexicans doing over there? And I'm sure they look at me and say the same thing. Look at that whitewashed Mexican over there. In high school, I dated this girl who was from Mexico. And I remember when her grandma came to town, she didn't speak a lick of English. I didn't speak a lick of Spanish. And when she met me, she looked at her with a face of utter disgust. And her racism actually started bringing my racism out. You know, I almost had to bring out one of those, "This is America and you're gonna speak English here, bitch." And like usual, all their fake woke outrage did was bring people out in droves to buy Dr. Seuss's other books, which are all the top sellers on Amazon right now. And some of the banned books are actually selling for hundreds to thousands of dollars online currently. But the most ironic part of all of this is that during his life, Dr. Seuss was a liberal who preached racial intolerance in a time when a lot of the country was still extremely racist. He actually drew over 400 political cartoons for a left-wing newspaper. I mean really, just wait till these idiots find out about Walt Disney. Now that was a fucked up dude right there. And we still let them have Disney World, Disney Channel. And let a kid spend 5 minutes on TikTok. I promise you they'll see some way worse shit than this. Who are they gonna cancel next? Jesus? Just the way he was dangling off the cross, I found it very insensitive. Oh, and by the way, if you're one of those people who says, "Oh, so WAP can be Song of the Year, but Dr. Seuss can't make a book?" You're just as stupid as all the people who want to cancel Mr. Seuss.